The next problem was the bridge. Both the road administration and the airport authority wanted to build a bridge. There were about 62 to 65,000 cars driving on this highway, and you could turn right to the airport, but turning left was problematic. For example, if a customer wanted to leave our hotel, he had no choice to turn left from our hotel directly to the airport. In other words, physically we were only 700 meters from the airport, but practically a customer had to take a car and drive 5 kilometers to the next bridge, turn around, make a U-turn, and come to the airport. This is why, correctly enough, the road administration and the airport decided to build a bridge. But as you could already imagine, the bridge was going just across our land. And what shall we do? Next to us was already built Metro Cash and Carry that was owned by Romanian richest person, Ion Siriac. I still think that even today is the richest person in Romania. He's a multi-billionaire. And as you could understand that in a very corrupted country, a rich man or with money, you could buy everything. So it was, the bridge was not in front of his land, but was in front of our land. But as we decided not to give up and to continue, I found out through a friend of my father a contact to someone that was earlier in the communist time. He was the Minister of Transport, Mr. Spira or Spirea. Mr. Spirea started working, analyzing all the possibilities, because there were a few options for the bridge. And after a few months, we found a way how the bridge could go just across, actually a viaduct over and above the highway as it is today, and it was just in between our land to Metro Ion Siriac's land. When the location of the bridge was finalized, then no authority could any longer stop us, and after 2.5 years of full-time work of dozens of people and not less than 134 approvals, we finally got the building approval, the building permit approval. Next issue was, how will we get the money? And we're speaking both about the debt, the bank, and equity finance. We got then a building permit, which was the biggest asset. We had by then a very detailed budget, because in all this period E.C. Harris sat in the office with 2 people, analyzed dozens of offers, and got into the very small detail. And the other thing is the hotel operator, which was internationally recognized. So theoretically, there shouldn't be any problem. The problem was that in Romania in 1997 there was no debt funding available. I met many Israelis that what they did, they financed all the project by putting a few investors together and just sharing the investment and the exposure. Our project $10 million was at that point Romania's third largest project. The first and largest was the Marriott, including the office building, which was about $150 million. There was the coming airport of Otepeni and our project. It is a bit funny because just a few years later, Romania turned to one of Europe's biggest construction sites, and $10 million was peanuts. But in 1997, it was a huge amount, and no one could believe that I would manage to raise this amount of money. Then we started working both on the debt and the equity. Let's start with the equity. I was in negotiations with the American Enterprise Fund, which belongs to the American Congress, and to USAID a year earlier. Normally, they did not agree to invest in real estate, but as hotels is not counted to be real estate, they agreed to carry on negotiations, but they wanted two things to happen. First of all, that we would have the building permit for Otepeni, and the other thing is that we would conclude a development agreement with Holiday Inn for more hotels in Romania. The other option, or in parallel, we started looking for debt finance. As the banks were not ready to lend any money, I was thinking that perhaps I could use another method, and this was to ask the contractor to come with finance. We found out that there are international credit lines to Romania backed up by export credit institutes, which means that the countries wanted to encourage the exporters to export, and they gave guarantees which basically cover the credit lines. And this way we found out that there are money coming to Romania, for example, on behalf of the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development. And in Romania, one of the banks that managed such a credit line was the Romanian Bank of Development, Banca Romana de Dezvoltare, which was later bought by Societe Generale. So we started negotiations in parallel, both with the bank and with the fund. On the 5th of March 1997, Ofer, our partner, and I met Moshe Nur for breakfast and talking business as usual. In the afternoon, same day, we read in the newspapers that he went bankrupt personally. Left us on one side a problem, on the other side an opportunity to bring the funds into the company.